In today's video, you're going to learn why you need to go from a simple translator to become a business facilitator. And also you're going to learn 4 facts that's going to help you to actually go from a simple translator to become an international business facilitator in your field. Hey guys, this is Kamar Ibrahim, International Business Facilitator, Culture Advisor, and Connector. So before we start, make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you did not do it yet, because I'll be uploading a video every Monday at 11 a.m. New York time. And also make sure you download the ultimate guide to go from a simple translator to become an international business facilitator. One of the hardest sectors in the economy in 2018 is actually the translation and localization industry. Why I'm saying that? Studies have proven that by the end of 2018, the sector, the translation and localization market, will actually grow to $43 billion. So this should tell you that something is going on, and you need to actually take advantage of this growth. What is causing this growth, you may be asking? If you look at the market today, the economy, if you look at the international market, economy in general, the people who develop apps, the developers, they are in every market, and they're trying to adapt their product to every local economy. Wherever their customers are, they're trying to give them a real-time experience in their own language. That's where you come in. Not just as a linguistic, but you coming in as a facilitator. You will be able to help them adapt their product to the market culture and values, because no companies can embrace the globalization or the internationalization of markets without actually understanding the culture, how the customer think, why they do, why they make the decision they make. So these are factors that companies need to take in consideration for them to be able to actually make profit in the long run. So your services, actually translators right now are one of the most valuable assets for companies like the developers or IT companies in general. That's why you see now most translation companies are turning to become actually IT companies, because they understood that these companies, the developers, everybody, they need their services. So for them to be able to provide that high demand or to respond to that high demand, they must adapt, the philosophy of those providers. So they themselves, the translation company, turn themselves or transition to become IT companies. So as you can see, the market is flooded with CAD tools. There is so many softwares, translation softwares. Now, I've never been a translator myself. I don't do really document translation. I do interpretation, and I move from interpretation to become a facilitator. But if you are a translator, you can actually attest to this fact, because there is so much tools, there is so much companies producing CAD tools, and sometimes they're not the best product, but we still need to use these CADs time to time to actually help us have a higher productivity level. However, for you as a translator to really be effective and to take advantage of this opportunity, you must do or take the transition. You must go from a simple translator and see yourself as a business, see yourself as a brand. Help this company to transition, to understand their markets, to understand the product, to understand their customers. And for them to be able to do that, they must work with you, because you are the key person here. You can connect companies, you can connect countries, you can connect people. And I love the word like connecting words. When people call me, you are connecting the words. And that's exactly what we do as translators. We connect to the words, we connect people, we bring businessmen together, partners together. But unless you take that tangent, you start seeing yourself as a business owner, as a brand, as a facilitator, as the most valuable asset in the market right now, you won't be able to actually market yourself properly in the translation, in the facilitation or globalization market, in the international market. for companies to take you as you are, like as valuable as you are. You got to show them why they need you, why your partners need to look at you as a partner, not just a translator. So the globalization and international trade has made translation and localization a necessity for companies, as more customers are looking for a personalized user experience. So for companies to register actually growth every year, they must provide information in the local languages. That's why you are a valuable asset for those companies. And second, because countries and cultures, behavior, beliefs are different from a country to country. For companies to actually register growth, they need to understand the customer behavior. Why customers behave the way they do, why they believe what they believe, what are the decisions that push them to actually make a purchase. These are patterns and socio-cultural behaviors that only a facilitator or a translator or a culture advisor can explain. Why? Because he understands the value code or the value that drive or the psychology behind the customer's behavior, why they have to make that purpose, why they have to purse something. I'm saying purpose. All right, so these are a job of a facilitator. That's the job of a culture advisor. That's why you need to transition actually once again from a simple translator to an international business facilitator. Another reason, or the last reason you need to go actually from a translator to a business facilitator, is actually to make the competition irrelevant. If you look at it as today in the global market, as I said, most translation companies are actually transitioning to IT companies. That means there is less job for you out there, and there is more competition that make the market a bloody ocean that sharks and little fish are fighting for customers. So for you to actually make the competition irrelevant, you must break out of the traditional translation system. How you do that? That's why I'm going to give you another 4 strategies that's going to help you actually brand yourself as a facilitator and make the transition and build a customer base, a loyal customer base that is going only work with you. Why? Because they understand you more and you understand their needs and wants more, and you adapt your services to their needs. But before I give you actually the 4 strategies to make the transition from a simple translator to an international business facilitator and culture advisor, let me first define a facilitator. What is a facilitator? In my term, these are not from the dictionary, guys. In my term, a facilitator is somebody who go beyond his linguistic duties, not just translating plain words. Is somebody who actually does his homework, work with both parties, both partners, to understand what are the goals they're trying to reach at the end of the situation in hand. This is more than just languages, services. Language services is more about negotiation situation. Like you are in a negotiation setting, you are trying to understand the goals and the wants, the needs of both parties before the situation in hand, and try to find a common ground between these two and come up with a win-win situation for both parties. This is a facilitator. Is somebody who actually help both parties to make informative and valuable decision for the outcome they're looking for. Let me give you a simple example of that. In 2012, I was working with AFRICOM, the U.S. Africa Command based in Germany, with his U.S. military based in Germany that serve the African continent. In one of our training session with one of the African countries, which the local military for some reason always come late to the to the training session. And this was a huge problem for the US military, because can you imagine leaving home far away from US all the way to Africa and waking up early, going to give classes for free, training for free, strategy, but these people always come up late. So one of the structure couldn't take it anymore, and he went his way to tackle the situation. But the way he did it, actually almost created a diplomatic situation. But at that time, thanks to God for them, I was there. I'm not being cocky, I'm just being honest. So I was there as a translator, or as I call it, a facilitator. So the master gun, which is what the instructor at that time, he went in his way and saying, you guys are lazy and have no respect for our time. And I think this is one of the main reasons why actually the terrorists are kicking your ass in the region and taking control of everything. And everybody was in a shock, including the US personnel in the room. And most of the host country's officers actually speak English. So I had to think about a solution in the second that will come up, and figure out a way to say it without creating all this drama. They may speak English, but all their eyes and mind is on me. So whatever I say, that's usually what they're gonna take, because they trust me. I already built trust. I already built, wish I would teach you how to do those things. So they listen to me what I would say, because I am the negotiator. I'm the facilitator in this case. So in the minutes that's come up, I decided to turn that phrase to a suggestive way. And here is what I said. If you guys put more urgency and take actually this training seriously as you're supposed to, with more urgency, you will be able to stop the exponential growth of the terrorists in the region. And most of the local military was nodding their head to agreement, for agreement. And the US personnel was confused. Why these people are nodding their head? Like, they're not supposed to do it. They're supposed to fight. It's supposed to be something else. So at the end of the training session, the captain pulled me aside. Cam, what is going on? How they can nod their head after just what the master gun said? I said, sir, I am a facilitator. I'm not a translator. I don't translate exactly what come out of the mouth of my instructor all the time. I find a way to say it, to facilitate the situation, to solve the situation in hand. So what I did was use the same words but put it in a suggestive way. Instead of accusing them, I make a suggestion to them. And that's why they agreed to the suggestion, but they didn't know it was actually an accusation. And from that day, that will show you the power of facilitation. From that day, the captain never traveled anywhere in the world, not only Africa, but in Asia, without having me in his side. All I has to do is understand the situation in hand and come up with a solution to find a common ground for both parties. And at the end of whatever situation we have in hand, the partnership cooperation, both parties feel respected and feel that they won. They reached their goal in that particular situation. This is the power of a facilitator. So congratulations, you are a great translator. You have a big portfolio. You're working with amazing customers. They love your job. They love what you do. Your company, your translation company actually loves you. They always give you assignments. But you notice, lady, that the competition is getting a little bit harder. It's getting a little bit harsh. The waters are getting bloody. What is the next step from there? My friend, the next step is to become a facilitator, as I was saying earlier. And there is 4 strategies, tactics that I'm going to teach you that will help you, or tips, whatever you call them, it doesn't matter. This is going to help you make the transition. The first thing is to understand the philosophy, the mindset of a facilitator. Because a facilitator, as I said, is somebody who helps others or his partners, help them make informative and decisions that will help them reach their goal. And he understands the need and the wants and the goal of both parties before he actually get to the situation in hand. Turn them to loyal customers. So how we do that? First strategy is to understand the goals and the needs of both parties. What I mean by that? What I mean by that is actually talk to both parties. If you're working with customers in Dubai, in China, or India, your goal is to get in contact with both of them and understand what are the goals they're trying to achieve at the end of the situation in hand. and understand actually both goals. When I said both goals, I mean the goals of both parties, because it's very important. And the best way to do that is actually to ask one simple questions. One simple or two simple questions. The first one is, what are you trying to get out of this situation? And the second one, what do you consider as a win situation or a lose? These two questions will give you the information needed for you to be able to navigate between both parties. And if you do it right, these both parties will actually respect you, and you will become their main facilitator. And actually, I will provide you with some information, some resources that's going to help you build these skills. All right. And the second strategy is to build trust and become the platform through which your partners will communicate. What I mean by that? The first one is build trust. How do you build trust? When you communicate with these parties, you make them understand that your job is actually to get them to a win-win situation. You're not taking part. You trying to understand the battlefield and actually prepare them, their mindset, of course, prepare them and build trust and become the main platform through which they communicate. If you do this right, both of them gonna actually tell you things that they don't want the other party to hear it. And you know it as a facilitator. It will make your job much more easier to avoid the landmines and actually not to ruin the situation in hand, to avoid conflict and misunderstanding. This is so powerful. I love doing this. And the third strategy or tip is actually to be neutral. You must be neutral. What I mean by that? If you're working with both parties, you're gonna make them understand. Do everything you can to make them understand that your goal is to get them a win-win situation. You're not trying to help one team or one partner over the other one, even though you're getting paid by one of them. One of these partners is actually paying you. You had a contract with them. But if you want to build a huge facilitation portfolio, customer base internationally, you need to embrace this strategy. You need to learn how to be neutral, how not to take sides, because you are a deal maker, you are a negotiator, and a negotiator that takes part will always bring conflict because he's not honest, he's taking sides. So your job is to be the platform, and all you do is make your partner feel and understand through you. So whatever the partners say, what you say is the most important thing, because you understand both parties, and because they respect you and they trust you, you actually got the advantage. You have the opportunity to actually turn whatever situation in hand to a valuable information for the other parties with respect to confidentiality. There is a word that you cannot share. So understand this strategy, and when you embrace this strategy, your portfolio will grow. You won't need to work with translation company again. And this is amazing. And the fourth and the last tip or strategy is actually personal. You have to build your soft skills. What I mean by soft skills, you see, most of the people go to school, they learn hard skill. It takes you 5 to 7 years, or 4 to 5 years, depending on your industry, to actually harness and become an expert in hard skills. But it takes a lifetime study to become an expert in soft skills. What are soft skills? Soft skills are abilities for adaptive and positive behavior that help individuals to deal with the challenges and the problem of everyday's life. These are psychosocial abilities and interpersonal skills that help others to make informative decisions, to help them make better decisions, cope with stress well, deal with everyday life situation, time management, communicate effectively, and understand the emotion and the behavior of others. This take a lifetime work. It's not something you just get it. You have to work on it. Yes, and this is what make us better than the software, the CAD tools. Why? Because we are emotional creatures. We understand emotions. And this gives us the upper hand to actually tackle the competition. That's why a machine or a software will never take the place of the human translator, because we understand context and emotions. But you have to work on your emotional intelligence, and that's what I call soft skills, because it goes from you to others. Not only you understand yourself, why you behave the way you behave, but you also understand why other people behave the way they do. When you develop these skills, you will be one of the most valuable individuals in the entire world, because companies fight for these people. They fight to get to these people, because the salesperson, look at the salesperson that approach you every day, how he does it, why he get that sale. And sometimes actually you buy stuff you don't really need. How he does it is because he understands the drives. He understands your behavior. He understands the process of your decision making. And he actually work on it. He influence it. When you build these skills, you will go from a simple translator to become an international business facilitator. This took me 10 years to understand this. I started as a simple translator like everybody. I mean, a simple interpreter. I've never been a translator. And working on my soft skills take me to a level where I never thought I'd be able to do that. Coming from one of the poorest countries in the world, most people cannot actually pinpoint Mauritania in the world map. They don't even know where is it. Most of people, when I tell them I'm from Mauritania, they think actually I'm saying I'm from Mauritius. It's just crazy. But because I work on my soft skills, I develop. Actually, I don't see myself as an expert in this area, because I learn something every day. And I will make in your disposition, or actually share with you, one of the most valuable resources that you can use to develop your soft skills. Because when you develop your soft skills, you can go from a simple translator, you can go from a simple facilitator. Companies will fight for you. You can work for any company in the world. Why? Because you understand people, and businesses deal with people. This is amazing, and there is no one better suited than you, translator, because you understand different moral codes, you understand different languages, you understand different behavior, culture, behavior, moral code, drive. This is amazing. That's why you need to take advantage of this industry, this advantage, the growth of the translation industry and localization, and use it in your advantage. And the only way you can do that is to change your mindset. So the last thing I'm going to do is share with you some resources that's going to help you develop your soft skills. And these are, of course, books. These books will help you go from the person you are today to the person you dream to become, whatever your dream is. And as long as you keep in your mind that you are not a finished product, you will be able to do whatever you set your mind on. That's why the first book I'm going to share with you is actually help you change your mindset, and it's called Mindset. So the first book I'm going to share with you, as I said, is Mindset by Carol Dweck. Am I doing this right? This is the psychology of success. This is a best-selling book. You need to put your hands on this book, because it will teach you, it help you understand that you are not a finished product. Whatever you decide to learn in life, it will be done if you put your heart and work on it. So make sure you grab this book. It has nothing to do with the translation industry. It has nothing to do with the localization industry, but it has everything to do with mindset. And as I said, to be able to make the transition, you need to have a winning mindset. And that's why you need to grab this book. By the way, I'm going to put on the link below this video All you need to do is click on the link. It's going to take you to Amazon, and you can purchase the book the way you want it. Whether you want a new one or a used one, that's up to you, but you're going to find that, so you don't have to go through the headache of looking for the title of thing. I'm going to just put it down there. And the second book, also I'm going to share with you, has nothing to do with the translation industry or localization, but it has everything to do with people. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People by, who's that? Dale Carnegie. Most of people know this book. Actually, it's a best-selling book and it's been around for years. 100 years or more. All right. So this is going to help you how to use your skills and how to build your soft skills actually to win over people. This is one of the negotiation skills. But we're not getting to negotiation yet. But for you to be able to bring people together, you have to understand them. You have to be able to actually influence them and gain their trust. And the last book, but not the least, is Critical Conversations. Critical Conversation Tool. This is one of the most amazing book. It has everything to do with people, everything to do with conversation, everything to do with winning others and understand their point of view. Because Dale Carnegie actually said it in one of the books. He said, if you can understand the other point, the point of view of others, and you respect it as you respect yours, you are one of the most valuable people on earth. And this book will help you exactly do that. You will understand how to handle, you will learn how to handle any situation, communication situation. And you will communicate effectively just because you understand the motives or the hidden agendas behind every critical conversation. So, if you loved this video, do me a favor, share it with the translator, friend, or tribe, or anybody that you know this video will help. Because I really want to see the industry actually value the translators and see them as the most valuable assets, because we are. Because most people actually look at translators are just translators. All they do, they only have the linguistic skills. We are more than that. We are platforms. We understand feelings. We understand values. People communicate through us. We bring companies together. We bring businesses together. We stop wars. Yeah. In my job, I had to work with teams that sometimes they are near conflict. But because of my understanding of both cultures, I find a solution that will suit both parties. That's who we are. So do me a favor, or do yourself a favor. Learn how to go from a simple translator to become a facilitator. Later on, you will thank me, because you will have so much opportunity that you can get out of the translation the industry if you want, and do whatever you want in life. I can't do that because I love what I do. I love traveling. I love bringing people together. But if that's what you're looking for, you need to work hard. You need to change your mindset, because here is the problem. Most of people, they're not comfortable of going against the traditional systems, and that's why they're stuck where they are. I love the human interaction, and I push my limits. I do things that most people won't do. Because why I'm doing this video, because I never had the chance to have any video that will teach me how to do the things. And that's why I take it as a personal mission that I'm going to do whatever I can to help you go from a simple translator and give you all the resources I didn't have to become a culture advisor, international business facilitator in your field, and become the most equipped, skilled, valuable person on the market. So this will be it for today. So if you did not subscribe, make sure you subscribe, because there is a lot of content, a lot of information coming up in your way. Until next week, be legendary, my friend.